Hi, everybody, to the AEW Rewind podcast. My name is Shawn DeLong.
And I'm Justin Bradley.
And this week, I'd say we probably had a very average episode of Dynamite this week.
Yeah, I mean, last week was really, really good. So, I mean, it's really hard to do as good of a show as last week, especially with no crowds. I mean, we know the whole deal by now with that whole thing. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't really go up from there, I don't think.
There's like so much happened last week that's hard to kind of compare it to that.
Yeah. I mean, I think MJF really saved it for me. I don't think it was bad up until MJF, but I think MJF really was like, okay, this was worth watching tonight.
Yeah, that's
Looking
probably
into
the
that.
most worst part of the
But
entire
yeah,
episode.
I mean, the opening match we'll get into. I don't know, man. That was just a cluster. You know what? But
Yeah, we might as well get into it. We have also announced that Taz was on commentary for the show because he was there for the
cool.
last match of the night.
I also I don't know if you knew, but Excalibur's kind of under some drama right now. So there's videos of him that are surfaced of him saying, racial slurs.
I did not hear about that.
So that's kind of why I'm pretty sure he was not on camera tonight. It kind of came out last night.
Have to look
Yeah, it
into it.
doesn't look good, but it's a difficult situation.
Alright.
I'm sure we'll know more about that later, but that's definitely why it wasn't on tonight.
Alright, I'll have to look into that. But the first match of the show was the Inner Circle versus the Best Friends and Drastic Express, which they were labeled as the Best Friends and Friends.
Yeah, which I expect. Okay, whenever you put 10 people in a ring like this, like 5-on-5, it's never gonna look pretty, you know.
Yeah, I kind of was thinking about halfway through. I was like, alright, this is too many people in this match at one
And
point.
the thing is, I mean, we'll talk about it, but they announced another same type of match next week. So I
Yes.
mean, but again, it's probably the better. It's the Young Bucks, FTR. So I mean, I don't know. It might be a lot better. But I don't know. I just don't think this is a great opening match to hook people in.
Yeah, I'd want to say for whoever all the people who were involved, it could have been better. And I just feel like, yeah, if you're gonna do a match like this, it's better when all of them are like there's like multiple tag teams in the match instead of just two gigantic tag teams going against each other because they can
Yeah.
feel really slow at times.
Yeah, like obviously, Stadium Stampede was a complete exception. That's something that can work, obviously.
Yeah, but
Because
that's
you have
a
plenty of room
whole
to work
different
with,
thing.
but something like this, it's not going to work out well. And it was just a lot of the same things over and over again. The groups would beat up on one person, and then the ref would get distracting. It was the same thing. I mean, I didn't hate the match. There were a lot of cool spots with Marco and Jungle Boy and Lucha, and Sammy. It was great to see Sammy back.
I mean, there's also that part where like Hager like lifted up Cassidy while his hands were still in his pockets. And
Yeah,
then he
that
got
was
out of
funny.
that by like clapping his hands around the Hager's head.
Yeah, that was really funny. Cassidy, I mean, it's pretty evident now how big of a deal AEW thinks Cassidy is as he is, but you can tell
Mm-hmm.
like he's leading everybody out. Normally it's like the Best Friends would run out and then Orange Cassidy. Now, everybody comes out with Orange Cassidy's music. Obviously time constraint, maybe, but
Yeah,
the fact that everybody followed Orange Cassidy
that's
out of the
true.
tunnel it's crazy to
Also,
think
he
about
is the one who's leading into this
yeah,
another feud with Jericho.
that is true. Um, yeah, I mean, there were some cool spots, like you said. I'm trying to think of some other ones. Marco had a couple fun spots.
Like Luchasaurus was just kind of like they were just using Marco as like a weapon to throw at people.
Yeah, and then he threw him into Hager, who Hager caught him and threw him back to Luchasaurus. Um,
Yeah,
it
there's
was
a lot of
a big cluster.
like teamwork involved in this match. A lot of double teams. Luchasaurus doing his like huge hot tags because he's like the king of the hot tag.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was cool. There was a lot of. I mean, I don't know. It was probably what I should have expected. I thought it was going to be better, but looking back at it, like we talked about with how many people in the ring, like I mean, I should have expected this instead. But yeah, Luchasaurus looks really good right now.
Hmm.
Obviously, it looks like they're gonna have like a feud with Hager. Looks like.
Yeah, they've been kind of like teasing it in these mini fashions
I don't
in
know.
these
Yeah, I
matches.
have a feeling that might be an all-out match. I don't know how I would feel about that because Hager. I mean, Hager had a good match with Cody, honestly, but I don't know how he's gonna wrestle with Hager. I mean, we saw how he wrestled with Dustin, so who knows?
Also, at one point in this match, to note that like at one point, like really early into Luchasaurus getting into a fight with Hager, like Luchasaurus's mask sort of came off.
I was nervous about that because that was obviously definitely not planned, and he was really struggling, and he had like one more spot to do in that segment that they were
Hmm.
doing with Hager, and he got it. He was able to keep it on.
I like how the announcers were trying to like cover for it by being like his face is starting to fall, starting to fall off, whereas like he's coming
Yeah,
out of his skin.
yeah, that was. JR had some interesting comments tonight. We can get into it later with some other things that he said, but oh man, I mean, I don't see. Do you see Luchasaurus as a champion, like a world champion, or do you see him as like
I
a TNT champion? Maybe.
if he maybe be a TNT champion, but I see it as the most possible way to going is he will be a tag team champion, no doubt.
Yeah, because with crowds, Luchasaurus is very over.
Hmm.
I don't, if you remember when he returned with crowds, like he came out and beat up. I think it might have been the Inner Circle.
You know,
I
like
don't know.
the
He came out
crowd
and
would
started
like
beating.
explode.
No, I think it was the Dark Order. He just started beating up the Dark Order and like headbutting them, and it was crazy.
Mm.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, so of course at the end of the match I thought ended kind of strange as well because at the end of it, like let's see, Jericho got the bat, but Cassidy stops him. At one point, I think it was when Sammy started going to the top rope is when I think Matt Hardy gets involved at one point, and
Well, yeah,
then
I heard that music, and I was like, I don't. Is that a debut? Is someone debuting? Or I mean, I didn't. The Matt Hardy music didn't connect with me. I wasn't thinking it was Matt Hardy.
yeah, I didn't think it was the two at first. But yeah, it turned out
But
to be Matt Hardy gets involved. He just like takes down Sammy off the top rope. Luchasaurus then hits a choke slam and then a roundhouse kick to win the match for the best friends and friends.
yep. So it looks like they're kind of going back to the Matt Hardy Sammy storyline.
Hmm.
Matt Hardy released a video earlier this week about how he's kind of stuck in a character kind of thing right now because he was expecting when he signed with AEW, it was going to be the whole broken Matt Hardy with crowds, and then obviously we didn't get that.
Yeah, we can't get that right now.
Probably not for a long time.
Probably
But
not for a while.
yeah, so he kind of is in a funk right now and doesn't know what to do. Obviously, he's helping Private Party, but and then obviously Sammy Guevara, the whole thing with him that cut off his feud with Sammy. So he was really getting a lot of bad luck, and
Yeah, because he's
I'm
right
happy to see
now.
this continue.
Yeah, because like right now Matt Hardy is just kind of there, I guess. Like he doesn't really have much anything to do. He's just kind of like there, I guess.
Yeah, he's stuck right now, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate that
Like, it's
it's
not
all
like
because of
it's not
coronavirus.
AEW's fault, it's not his fault. It's just, like, his character really works with fans, and that's okay wrestler nowadays, but, like, he can't really hold his own, I don't think, like, for a long like, we're not gonna see a Matt Hardy singles run.
He's nowhere near as good
Um,
as he used to be,
yeah.
basically.
Yeah, so I don't think it sucks. I mean, we all like Matt Hardy, it's not nothing against him, but you can just tell that he's kinda getting to the ending years of his career,
Hmm.
but I'm happy to see the Sammy feud continue because they were having a lot of fun with it, obviously, before um,
Hmm.
that whole thing happened with Sammy.
Yeah, so this gets followed up with a promo from John Moxley, which he talks about basically why this match is happening later tonight. He calls Darby his compadre, and he doesn't like it that Cage beat up Darby, and basically he wants to, and also he wants to bully Ricky for attacking it from jumping him from behind at the end last week.
Yeah, it's classic. That's classic.
Another usual
Mox.
John Moxley promo.
Yeah, it's just classic Mox. Nothing new. Nothing. I mean, it's just Mox. I mean,
Yeah.
it's good stuff. Um,
I'm starting to
uh,
think these like promos that he's been cutting, where he's just kind of like in some location. The best I could say is like a warehouse looking
Clean
place.
sense. Yeah.
It's like been very common recently. I don't know why that's been the case.
I think honestly, I think that's somewhere in Daly's place where they like to hold all like they keep all their stuff, like construction stuff.
Probably.
I don't know, I'm sure, but it might not be. But it's always good to see Mox on TV. Obviously,
Hmm.
he's the champ. We should be seeing him on TV, which we'll get
I feel
into
like you should cut like a promo soon in like
like live.
live. Yeah.
I'm sure we're gonna get it. I mean, now
Hmm.
that with what happened later tonight, I'm sure we'll get it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll get soon.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. That's gonna be a fun feud coming up that we can look forward to.
I
But
bet it's gonna be a fun feud.
yeah,
So the next match of the night is the TNT title match where Cody defends against Warhorse.
and this was the thing is Warhorse. I kind of knew he was gonna be underwhelming compared to like how hype everybody was for him.
That's true. Yeah, he
Like
was very
I mean,
hyped up going into
I
this.
think he was good, but the problem is everyone was hyping him up so much that it was like, oh, this is War. Like, obviously, it's amazing that he has that great of a fan base, etc. But like
Yeah, I
to the
feel like
average viewer, I don't know. I think they should have had like a pre-cut promo for Warhorse to get like the casual fans like more knowledge of him and like what he stands for and like represents and that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
that's true because all he did, like all they did was just he just kind of came out and they announced them as Warhorse. I believe, like personally, like the build and the story behind why he got this match is like way more fun than the actual match we got.
Yeah, I mean the match wasn't bad. I mean
Yeah, it wasn't a bad match.
I don't think it was a horrible match by any means. I think Warhorse is a pretty good wrestler. I just don't think it's just hard to live up to those expectations that he had.
Hmm.
And with the time that he was probably given for this match, it was like not too long. I mean, they got one commercial break, I think, but yeah,
Because like when like I said, they didn't really give him much context. He just kind of came out and they announced them like the way like Warhorse does by saying he like weighs 4,000 pounds of heavy metal and here's real ass and all that stuff. But like, if you never knew who he was going into this, you have no idea what was going on.
yeah. So that's why I really wish that was one critique I had on this whole like the title match tonight. It's really getting to know the opponent because I think you can get that connection with the viewer, and I
Hmm.
think that would help obviously. Um, and
Like,
AEW is usually on top of the game with that kind of stuff. I just think
hmm
they were really short on time today. It seemed like for a lot of these segments, it seemed like
probably.
all these promos they started playing the music before they were really done with their promos, and that was kind of like the signal to them to wrap it up. Uh, I don't
Oh,
know. I don't know.
I feel like if they gave the same amount of work they did into like Ricky Starks coming out for the first time, where they kind of had that little like package they gave him
Yeah,
while he was like
something
coming
like that.
out.
Exactly. Something along those lines, is my opinion.
Yeah, because like I said, like Warhorse is a very specific character that if you had no idea who he was going to it, you'd be
Yeah,
very,
you think
very
he's just like
confused.
a psycho or something. I don't know. You'd think he's weird.
Yeah, and most people I've seen online are just kind of like comparing him to be like, well, he kind of looks like the Ultimate Warrior, and that's pretty much it. So like that's not what you're supposed to get away from the character.
Yeah. And I mean, who knows? He might have a contract opportunity down the line. I don't think AEW is really giving out too many contracts to like
Not right now, I
lower
don't
names
think.
like him because with COVID and stuff. But like obviously Zack Ryder, we'll get into.
Which we'll get
Matt
into.
Cardona definitely got a contract because he's one of the higher up names, and Cody obviously.
Mm.
But yeah, I hope we don't. That's not the last of Warhorse.
Yeah, the match. Yeah, I hope so too. And the match itself, like, I was surprised that like there was a good amount of like technical wrestling into this, and I was
Yeah,
not
I mean,
expecting that at all.
well, a lot of it's Cody too. Cody likes to do the grappling, and Warhorse didn't back down from that either. A lot of
Mm.
grapples, a lot of we got to the ending there where Cody had the shooting star press in, and Warhorse had his foot. Like he I mean, they were working the knee a lot all match. Warhorse's knee. Cody. It always seems like Cody's tactic is to hurt a part of the body and then attack it, which is
Yeah.
smart, obviously, which leads to the finish. So. Uh, the knee was this week. Who was last week? Oh,
Last
Eddie
week.
Kingston. That was the knee too.
Yeah, Eddie Kingston. Yeah, that's true. Eddie Kingston did have the knee this week. Is another knee attack, which also I'm pretty sure, yeah, he actually won with the figure 4 like he did last week.
Yeah. So he's really trying to get that over, and obviously he uses the knee. He hurts it, so obviously they're already in pain and they can't really get out of it, which is smart. It's smart wrestling. Cody's really good technical, and he's really good. He's a really good wrestling mind.
Yeah, focusing on the creating more of an importance on the figure 4 also gives kind of gives him a dual-edged sword to his character style,
Yeah,
like his wrestling
figure
style,
4. A figure 4.
and the crossroads.
Four horsemen. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's coming, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, so then after the match ends, we have, which I wasn't really expecting, was like 2 members of the Dark Order come out to the ring to attack both Warhorse and Cody, which
Yeah,
because of this makes Matt Cardona make the save.
he's jacked too. Matt
He
Jack.
was. A lot of people were talking about how big he looked.
Yeah, he's huge compared to last time I saw him. Because I haven't been watching WWE for a while, so he looks a lot bigger. He's tan, really, really tan. But before Matt Cardona even came out, I was like, oh shoot, are they doing Brody Lee Cody? Because I was like, Dark Order comes out, maybe Brody
I
challenges
could
for the
see it,
title.
yeah.
I was like, oh. But then I remembered, well, I guess Hangman. But I think that would have been a fun match, Brody and Cody. But obviously,
we're not getting that yet.
Well, not yet, but it's coming, I'm sure. But
Probably.
I was like, wow, Arn squared up against Silver and Reynolds, and I was like,
oh yeah, I was kind of surprised by that too.
Like, there's no shot. And then obviously Matt Cardona comes out, saves. They have him and Cody have a close relationship. I mean, you definitely saw Cody's response to Zack Ryder getting released originally. They have really good respect for one another, and it was just like a matter of time till he showed up and signed.
Yeah. So of course, as we learned, then we'll set up their match for next week, which we'll talk about later. But the only knock I have on this was that this felt like they really just kind of created a reason for him to debut.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate the debut. I don't think I think they could have done a better job, but it wasn't something where the Dark Order just didn't make sense,
Yeah, it just kind of seemed like they just randomly came out for some reason. I don't know
yeah,
why.
it just felt like they came out just so he could debut. I get what you're saying there. I just don't know how else you could have debuted him.
I don't know, they could have done like Butcher and Blade, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, something. I don't know. They could have, but it was cool to see Zack Ryder, or I keep gonna call him Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona's finisher, last ride or whatever. I don't know what he's gonna call it now, but that's a really cool finisher in my opinion.
It's just good to see him there in AEW in general.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be great because he's a really good content creator in general. So like, he could probably help with being the elite, maybe, or he could.
Yeah, he was the one who
knows?
started creating like the
Internet
wrestling
title.
YouTuber
Yeah.
style person.
Exactly. So he could help a lot with that too. And I mean, this is obviously a huge draw for WWE fans, who in this brings their eyes to AEW. So this is AEW's time right now to like make sure they're bringing these eyes in and keeping them on the product. And Matt Cardona is definitely going to help.
So then the next segment on the show is an interview with Chris Jericho with Tony. And basically he's furious for all the reasons. And Sammy's mad at Matt Hardy for interrupting the match. And basically Jericho goes on to say a bunch of stuff about what's going to be happening in the coming weeks.
What did he tell Sammy? I mean, what did he tell Sammy to say in Spanish?
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, and then he said, "Son of el bitch" or something. It was the funniest thing. I just like the little things like that. I miss so much from Sammy, because he's just a character. I mean, I don't know.
Just like how Jericho just assumes that because they call him the Spanish God, he knows how to speak Spanish.
Yeah, I really miss Sammy. I mean, I'm wearing his shirt right now. I mean, Sammy's one of my favorite wrestlers, so I was really happy to see him back. I mean, I'm biased for Sammy, so let me know if I'm being too biased. But yeah, I mean, it's just great to see him back. Great to see the Inner Circle being the Inner Circle.
Yeah, and in this interview, pretty sure Jericho says that he's gonna face Cassidy in 2 weeks.
Yeah, the 15th.
Yeah,
So the 6th, or wait, the 8th, whatever day is next week is the debate, and then the week
Yes.
after is when they wrestle.
Yeah,
The
so yeah,
13th.
that's what it was. Next week they're gonna have a debate with some moderator that's supposed to like blow our minds or something in his words.
Who do you okay, bold prediction, who do you think it's gonna be?
You know, Jericho could get literally anybody under the
That's
sun to
true.
show up with this moderator.
I don't know who it could be,
I don't
honestly.
know, it
I
could
don't know.
be.
Is it a wrestler? Like, I wish they would have said famous wrestling, because that could narrow it down, But
But
they
he was
just
just
went.
like, this will blow your mind who this moderator will be.
It could be like somebody crazy, like that we least expect. I don't know. Like not even in the wrestling world.
I really don't want to like come up with who it could be,
Do you
just
think
for
it could
the
be
fact.
the guy from Jerry's show? Or
That,
more, what, like, I feel like, because wasn't he with WWE at one point, the guy who did the Jerry show? I think I don't know. I feel like that could be a sneaky pick, but I don't know who the cons know, who Jericho knows.
I have no idea. It could be anyone. And
I
also,
hope it better not disappoint.
I just don't want to like pick it, like come like try to say who it could be just because I want to just him to see who it could be next week.
What if he was the moderator and he just trolled and he was the one moderating it?
Now, who's the moderator is me, so I win.
Yep, classic Jericho. But yeah, I'm
But
looking forward to that because I don't think Jericho. I mean, we know Cassidy's not going to talk, right? I mean,
yeah, or Cassie's not gonna talk.
I don't know. Might
I
write
feel
on the
like this
board.
would be a segment that would really work if there was a crowd.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. It really sucks. I was looking back at AEW shows last night, like with fans, and oh man, it made me so sad.
Like I feel like this could be a segment where like Jericho would say something and then we'll be like, okay, Cassidy, it's time for you to take the floor or whatever, and then he would just put the mic to his mouth and the crowd would just go crazy.
Yeah, I I need fans back. I just put me in a time portal and take me to whenever fans can come back, and then I'll wake up. That's what I want to happen right now.
So yeah,
But
the segment then ends with Jericho once again asking Santana, "Do I still smell like orange juice?" And then Santana says, "Well, it kind of smells like cat pee."
and then they're like, "Dude, why would you say?" Because it's obviously a run-on joke from last week when they said he still smells like oranges, but he said cat pee this time, and then everyone's like, "Dude, why would you tell him that?" And Jericho storms off, and then Santana or Ortiz
He's like,
stays around, and he just yells
"Cat
"cat pee"
pee."
in the mic and walks off. But
He knows
yeah,
what's happening to that jacket so far.
he's gonna keep wearing it, 100%.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna wear it next week, and then when he wrestles
Also, real quick,
Cassidy.
Demo God what popped up on the big screen. They put the Demo God into his intro now. If you missed it, like on the
Hmm.
intro screen that he has, they put Demo God on it.
He's just the king of nicknames at this point.
It's so good. But yeah, what was after this? Was this the
After
women's
this
one?
was the FTR official
Uh,
contract signing.
this was great. I love this.
This was an interesting segment because it kind of got over a little bit more of their character work.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting Hangman to show up, but he did. I mean, I didn't
Hmm.
expect Arn Anderson to show up. What am I
Yeah, Arn
saying?
Anderson showed up because he was like there to advise their contract because they're a tag because he knows tag teams.
Yeah, and they're teasing the Four Horsemen thing so hard,
They are.
and
They have been.
it looks like it would be Hangman, Page, FTR, and Cody. I mean,
That would probably be
that would
like the
rule.
way they're teasing it.
That's how it should be. I don't think it should be Shawn Spears, but yeah, Hangman comes in with the alcohol, of course.
Hmm.
I mean, what else is new?
He
And
fills up some shots. He fills up his cup, especially to
the
all the way to the brim.
whole way up, and he almost drank it all. I was like, dude, what? This guy's insane. Like he's not kayfabing that. That's real. He might become a real
No,
alcoholic.
so they pointed out. I forgot which one it was. This it was like I could tell this stuff's cheap.
Oh yeah, Cash. It was one of them, and he's just still drinking ahead as they're saying that. But yeah,
Also, here they say something about how Tony Khan promised a tag team appreciation night
and
that's
now
supposed to be
that's the
hosted by
15th.
FTR.
Yeah, that's the same night that Jericho and Cassidy. So they're really tying up not this coming week, but then week following as like a big night for them.
Hmm.
It seems like again. I don't know what that means for Tag Team Appreciation Night. We'll have to see.
Maybe it's just a bunch of tag team matches. I don't know.
You don't. I mean, could they do I mean, never mind, because Jericho. But I was saying you could do a bracket in one night. Maybe have people wrestle too. No, but that wouldn't work because the Florida Heat. I don't think you'd want your wrestlers out there wrestling more than one match a night. But I'm trying to think of what they could do. It might just be some like party or not like a FTR promo and something happens. But who knows?
Yeah. So after this, we have our next match tonight. A tag team title match where Kenny Omega and Hangman Page defend the title against Dark Order of Evil Uno and Stu Grayson.
And honestly, I really, really like this match.
This was a pretty good match.
Like, Evil Uno and Stu Grayson really haven't wrestled on TV since Crowds, and I forgot how talented they are. I mean, they're really good. And I mean, Kenny and Hangman it's like who better than them, So
also, there's some interesting story being told with the commentators, because that's where like we see that Cole Cabana is on commentary, and they pointed out that like Anna Jay is out with them for the first time on the stage together.
Yeah, well, they remember Anna Jay. When she faced Abaddon, when Abaddon came out and squashed her, they helped her up and let her out, and they kind of continuing that storyline.
It seems like she's officially a member now.
Yeah, it's great to see them have a women member of the Dark Order. I mean, obviously you need that diversity, and obviously with the tag team belt or what out belt, the tournament coming up.
Yeah.
And then also, I know they've been talking about it, but if Inner Circle could get a woman talent, that would be great too. I don't know who that would be, obviously, right now.
I don't know who that'd be.
But it's great to see, them adding a woman to their team. But she literally just stood there the whole time. So she didn't really do much. I'm sure we'll hear more when this tournament kicks in.
Yeah, and also Cole Cabana talks a lot there in this over the entire match about how how good how Dark Order is and how one of the biggest things right now. But they asked him, was like, "Are you a member of the Dark Order?" It says he's not an official member, but he's just hanging out.
Yeah, well, because I mean, he's not. He probably said that pretty quietly too, because he didn't want Brody to hear. Yeah, because I don't think Brody would have took that too well. But Brody was just pacing back and forth the whole match.
Yeah, paying attention to how the match is turning out.
Yeah, I mean, did you catch up on BTE yet?
I will watch it one of these nights.
Oh my god!
Sorry, man.
Dark Order have ruled BTE for like the last 3 weeks, and you definitely need to watch it. I mean, they're definitely one of the fan favorites right now.
I'll watch it before I go to bed tonight.
Yeah, you better.
It's only like 10 minutes.
They're 30 minutes long though, so
30 minutes.
If you could do that, but definitely catch up because it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun on that show. But yeah, I mean, great spots here with Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. Really cool to see them wrestling. Kenny and Hangman, just classic. But I mean, we didn't even talk about how Hangman was. It's the little things. Hangman enters and then he starts fighting. He starts the match before Kenny even gets out to the ring. So
also, we learned on his little nameplate that he doesn't like the white wrist tape.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even catch that. That's funny. Did he not wear it today?
Yeah, he didn't wear the white wrist tape. He wore black this time.
That's really funny. I really like how they do little things like that. Also, like I said with the Kenny thing. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else do you have to say about this match? I mean,
there's a lot of good double team work. There was of course the Dark Order doing their unique double teams kind of stuff. Like there's that one. They did a delayed vertical suplex where Stu Grayson did a super kick while before completing the suplex from Evil Uno.
Yeah, great tag team wrestling here. I really didn't think they would lose, right? I mean, we didn't.
Yeah, I didn't think they were gonna lose either. Oh. But I forgot one point that they'll bring up. Did you see that part where Stu gets thrown by Omega and he just flies over the turnbuckle post?
Yeah, and then they switched to the camera work was kind of bad tonight. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, that was one thing.
Throughout the night that I was like, what is going on? I couldn't see what was going on.
It said one of the cameras was out or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, he does a spot where he throws him over the turnbuckle, and he landed on I think it had to have been Hangman because I mean that would make sense, or Evil Uno. I don't know, but that's a really cool spot. They kind of used the Lance Archer camera on him,
Mm.
but I really wish you could have saw where he landed because I think that would have made that spot really cool.
But it's also there was something about just like seeing him just throw himself over the turnbuckle and you don't see where he lands. Is kind of like I don't know.
Yeah, that's cool. Like you don't know. Yeah, you don't know where he goes. Um, yeah, and then obviously, we get to the end here. Last
Also, there's an
call. Was that what
yeah
it's called? Yeah.
the Omega and Page one with the last call, but probably the last spot to talk about from that Dark Order do is that belly to belly from Stu Grayson where he like threw over his head into Omega.
Oh, that was sick. Yeah, that was a really cool spot.
And
I
the Evil
remember that.
Uno like manipulated Rick Knox for like a second where he put like
He made Rick
Omega's
Knox
like
hold him. Yeah.
yeah. That was some of the many crazy spots that have happened in this match that were all really good. But of course, they said Omega and Page win the match with the last call,
Yeah, and then, throughout that match, they showed the Young Bucks in the crowd, and I was like, all right, something's going to happen.
which
And,
of course it does.
yeah, so, they lose. Brody's pissed. I mean, why wouldn't he be pissed?
Hmm.
So he comes right. What did he tell Anna Jay and Colt to go back and to before?
Yeah.
Just don't look, like, just go back. And I was like, what is
Mm.
going on? So I was like, okay. And then he gets his nice suit. He's sitting out there on the entrance. And he hops on the mic.
Doesn't it like slap like Evil Uno or something?
Yeah, he throws him with papers. That's a BTE
Yeah.
thing. So
Oh. Yeah.
you gotta watch it. But yeah, so he hits him with papers. He kind of kicks him off to the side a little bit, and then he goes right to Hangman. I
Yeah.
bet because he called him a Colt. Hangman called him a Colt.
And Brody
So
said it was like it's nice to see you have your friends with you this time.
yep. I mean, he was going straight at Kenny too.
Hmm.
Like it was kind of weird. I was going at Kenny more than Hangman. So I don't know what they're doing there. You don't think? I mean, you don't think Kenny would turn heel and join the Dark Order, right?
I don't think he would join the Dark Order. He would just be by himself.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, a little Easter egg here. I was looking at the AEW roster just to see who was like officially signed because that's who they only put on there, and I saw they changed Kenny's nickname to the Cleaner,
Hmm.
which is what the New Japan name was. So
Yeah.
I don't. I mean it's pretty clear as day that they're trying to do this eventually, and I just want it to happen. I want the split to happen, but it's a slow burn. It's a long. We're so used to short term booking with the other company.
And that's what
Uh,
AEW is trying to do is all this long
they're
term
trying
booking
to do
stuff.
long term booking, and it's going to be worth it in the end. So I
Yeah.
don't know. It's like watching a movie and you're waiting for the turning point or like the climax of the story, whatever. So we're getting there, but it's going to take a couple more weeks, I think.
Mm. This entire like both these segments really told a lot with the story of what's been going on with all of these involved right now, and I really
Yeah,
like that.
a lot of these guys have different storylines because obviously FTR has to deal with the Bucks because they have that thing going on. And then they have Hangman, who's their friend, who's also with the Bucks, and then you have Kenny, who like that. Everybody's like has branches off into different stories. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. The next segment we have is a really short Britt Baker promo where basically she just kind of sums up by saying Big Swole's obsessed with her, and she gives out a challenge where she can get an opportunity at her if she beats an opponent of Britt Baker's choosing.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know who this would be. It would have to be
Okay.
someone that Swole's going to beat, obviously. I'd imagine
Probably.
because that's how we're going to get to it. But yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, my thoughts on Britt. Like, I don't hate her. I just
Yeah.
think they did this way too fast for how long Britt's going to be out for. You can't just keep doing this because
Yeah,
Britt can't defend herself. It's going to look stupid if Swole knows that like if she just attacks her, she's attacking an injured woman, like someone who can't defend herself. Like that's
mm-hmm.
not fair.
And it's like
So like
last week I said that it's tough to keep a story interesting where there's only like it's kind of one sided.
yeah, exactly. Like it's just like it's the same thing over and over and over and over again. And like I get it, they really like Britt Baker because she's one of their faces of the women's division. It's just at some point Something needs to happen. Enough of the talking, you know. But it's like you kind of put yourself in a corner with this, in my opinion. But obviously you give Swole something to do.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's just, like I said, I wish Britt would be here like every other week. I don't think she should be here every week or have a promo every week.
Yeah.
Do something every week. It's getting a lot to be the same thing.
hmm So the next match on the show is the Hikaru Shida versus Diamante.
Yeah, and like this is what we're talking about. Diamante had a little promo before the match.
Yeah,
Or to the point. This is all Warhorse needed. I'm
yeah,
not, you know.
what Warhorse needed.
I mean, again, it's not like the Warhorse thing was bad. We talked about that, but like this is something that they could have used for Warhorse.
hmm
Obviously, got people to know who Diamante was. I mean, she's been on TV a little bit, but not too many people know of her. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't really looking forward to this match because there was no title on the line. So like, it was like obviously she does. I mean, I thought she was going no matter what, but
Yeah, that's what's gonna turn, and that's what's happened in this
yeah,
match.
yeah. I mean, it wasn't bad. I mean, I don't think the match was horrible
There's some botches here and there, though.
yeah. I mean, I think it could have been a lot better. I mean, but it's just like I don't know. They
It was a
need to.
little rough around the edges, but it was a heavy strike, like a strike heavy match. Like missile drop kicks and chops and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's
Probably the most athletic thing like Diamante did in this match was like she did this like she reversed the move that Hikaru was gonna do with a stunner.
yeah. That was cool.
hmm
That was a cool spot. Cheetah's pretty good, you know. It's just it's unfortunate right now. I mean, you have nobody. I feel like, and then they're pushing this tag team division. It's like I think you should be focused on Cheetah defending this belt more than that tag division that they're trying to build.
Yeah, because in the end she the wins with the running knee after a brain buster, like she has been doing. And then after this they announced they also had, like after this they announced some of the rules for what this tournament's supposed to be, which I think what they're saying was that this tournament is supposed to be where all the tag teams are made by random, like a
Yeah,
color picking thing.
so every person that's eligible, like all 16 women, pick a color blindfold. Like they don't know what color they're picking, and then whatever color they have, it's like you match with them. So there's two of each color, whatever. But it's like that thing's stupid to me because like, oh, I wonder if Brandy and Allie are gonna get the same color. Like, okay, like obviously Brandy and Allie are gonna get the same color unless they do it worse.
Yeah, that's kind of true. It feels like there's some teams I feel like are just kind of meant to be together. Like it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like, oh, coincidentally, Allie and Brandy, you know. So I don't think that's the thing that kind of drew me away. Like if that wasn't a thing before, and then if they met here, I think it would be good compared to when they did.
Also, it seems like part of it's going to be only done on their YouTube channel because that's what I said that it's going to start Monday on their YouTube.
Oh, I didn't even hear that. So that's
Yeah,
Monday on the YouTube channel?
it said I'm pretty sure they said it was supposed to be starting like Monday
I don't
on
know if
their
they put
YouTube.
that on Bark or something
I don't know.
on Tuesday nights. I don't know. I'll have to look at that because that's surprising. I thought they would try and use this to put women on TNT, not on YouTube. But I mean,
I'm pretty sure that's what they said on the thing.
that's surprising to me.
And then after this is a Nyla Rose interview, where basically Vicky says it doesn't matter who the partner is, they're gonna win anyway, and she picked this color purple, which then we get to a part that's been pretty, I guess you could say controversial, kinda. I don't really, because I don't know who
I have
that
no
girl
idea
came
who it
out
is.
either.
No
Like,
idea.
I couldn't catch her name because I'm pretty sure they said it on the episode.
Commentary said it. Hold on. Keep going. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, because a lot of people have been kind of saying things about it, like her being not good at all. Which I mean, I don't know because, like I said, like I don't really know too much about her personally. But if they have signed, if AEW has signed her to a contract, they might as well, like they have to have seen something in her to want to sign.
So she was Cameron on WWE.
Oh, I felt like she kind of looked familiar at one point,
Yeah,
and
her name's now. It's now Ariane. I don't know, but it was Cameron on WWE. Everyone in the comments says AEW passes on Mercedes, but signs Cameron. Couldn't have picked a worse tag team partner.
mm,
Dear God, why? Like it's. I mean, I don't know her, so but it's
I
not.
don't know. I don't know how she does individually, and I haven't really seen any of her work outside of WWE, so I can't. I don't know. I can't really say on her like technical ability.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks like a lot of people are not happy, or they're not ecstatic about that signing.
We're just. It's gonna be one of those things where we're just have to see how it turns out.
I mean, Nyla Rose is probably just going to do everything. So, I mean, I'm not
Yeah,
really
that's
too
pretty much what's
concerned.
gonna happen.
Or, she ruins it for Nyla Rose, and Nyla Rose just kind of destroys her or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's pretty much what's gonna happen because I don't think she Nala's gonna win, and I feel like the only that's gonna be because of kind of like her tag team partner not putting up her end of the deal kind of thing.
Yep.
So like we get to the segment of the night that we both probably agree
Oh,
that this is what basically saved the entire show as being the best thing of the entire night. This being the MJF announcement, which
presidential, all themed.
yes, all presidential themed that we have MJF 2020, we deserve better posters and stuff like this.
Did you see the posters outside of his office or outside of his locker room? They were funny. I forget. It was like an MJF poster and something else. I forget, but and then he had like someone put gum in his mouth, and then he had signed some papers, and then he kept walking in, and then they cut to commercial. But he was out
This,
there shaking hands with people,
yeah, this is very, doing very like presidential candidate kind of like hand like waving kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was
And yeah, it's just, this was built up, of course, to this podium, like kind of style announcement, where even the podium itself was like plaid.
or Burberry or
Yeah,
whatever.
very whatever.
And it was just he just like this was the moment where I knew this guy's gonna be it. Like he's like we obviously know with the talent, but like I think this is a turning point for him, and I think this is
Yeah,
the
because
only the beginning. And he's gonna be the face of AEW for a long time.
like we already knew how good he was cutting promos at like before matches and sometimes during matches. This one would just felt a step beyond everything he's done so far in AEW.
Because he was going straight for the title. I mean, like he's never had a title shot yet. He's never had to fight for the title, and this is like his biggest opportunity. So this is where he's taken that next step, and I don't think he loses to Mox.
Yeah, I don't see it either,
I don't think I
honestly.
think he's gonna win the title, and that just means MJF is the face of AEW come September 5th. I mean, when All Out happens.
And
So
if this was as big like leading up to him winning, I mean, what a way to do it.
yeah, I mean, the only way is like if Warlow messes it up, but I don't think they're gonna do that. I think MJF wins. Maybe Warlow causes him to lose the title, but I don't think Warlow's gonna cause him to lose the match for the title.
Yeah, I
Uh,
really cannot see MJF losing. Like this,
no.
it just can't right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's better than you, and you know it. So I mean, he can't. He can't. I mean, just the things he was taking shots at WWE. He was using WWE innuendos, like the brother, and he said Stone. He said Dean Ambrose or Mox is Stone Cold.
Like
And they're coming from
cosplaying.
The Titan company or whatever he
Because
said.
yeah, because he says he comes from the land of Titans because that's the nickname of their headquarters is Titan Towers.
Yep. He was taking so many
And he
shots at me
has
for the rating.
like hashtag MJF 2020 and hashtag not my champion.
Yeah, oh, it was just classic. I mean, this is like better than classic MJF, but it just pisses people off, and that's what he wants to do.
And I
Um,
really like that one where it's like his talent overshines Moxley's tenure, which I like that line a lot.
yeah, I mean, and he's not wrong. I mean, Mox really hasn't. I mean, obviously, a lot of it's due to Corona. Obviously, who knows what their plans were with fans and the abilities, but I mean, other than Brian Cage, like Mox really hasn't defend. I mean, he defended against Hager, which we shred to pieces. But I mean, he hasn't really done much with the belt, like, to be honest.
Hmm. I mean, he has like a couple good matches here and there, and really outside of that, not too much. But that's just because of like the situation that's kind of been handed.
Yeah, I just feel like with MJF though, like if they want to try and make the title relevant during quarantine or whatever you want to call this, with no fans, MJF's gotta be the one because
MJF would definitely be the way to go because he can
because
cut all those promos.
yeah, Mox can talk, but not MJF level. Like MJF could talk, and I would sit and listen. He could talk 2 hours. A 2 hour show of MJF, I would listen to it.
That's true.
Okay,
I
that
could
might
probably
be a
do the
little
same.
extreme, but maybe like 30 minutes. But it would be a long time I would listen. So just saying.
Also, like, because to go with the presidential theme, he announces his candidacy for
Yeah,
the
and like I
title.
was saying earlier, it was like you could tell they were kind of trying to tell MJF to wrap it up because they started playing his music.
That's true. Yeah.
Cody Khan was like, just play his music and he'll know to wrap it up. So he just wrapped it up. He said it during the song. Um, but he
It was
keeps
a good
on.
time to kind of do it because he has music playing, and then he was like, "I announce my my candidacy for the title at All Out."
Yep. And I mean, this was kind of the way they were going. It was pretty clear because he's been on top of the leaderboards and not got a title shot. And yeah, I mean, now we got to see how Mox responds. I mean, it looks like Mox has something on his hands next week.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe after that's when it's really going to get good. We're going to hear from MJF again next week, and another
Yes.
presidential thing. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it keeps me entertained. So I'm happy he's on my TV.
Yeah. So after this, they started their announcements for what next week's show is going to be. They have Cody and Max Cardona is going against the Dark Order, the tag team that came out to beat them up
Yep.
at the end of the match.
Yeah, it's now I'm blanking. Now I'm blanking on their
Yeah,
name.
yeah, that's the thing. Is like I kind of forget
Silver
them.
and Reynolds. John Silver and Alex Reynolds is their names.
All right. So yeah, they're going into them next week. We have the MJF update next week. This is where we get to the part where we're also kind of concerned. Is we have this another gigantic tag team match. This time, I think it's 12 people. This time, we have FTR, Young Bucks, Omega, and Hangman against the Dark Order, which is Evil Uno, Stu Grayson, Brody Lee, Cole Cabana. I'm pretty sure there's also Alan Angels is going to be in there as well.
It's gonna be a cluster. You know what?
Yeah, it's gonna be just an absolute cluster. It's gonna happen.
I just wish they would just say false count anywhere, and just let them use the whole stadium like they did with Butcher and the Blade.
You might as
I
well,
think
because
you could take it into the Dark Order office or whatever. I think that would be fun.
yeah,
You
because
could
I
do a
am
lot of
kind of afraid for how that match is gonna turn out. Because if they kind of struggle with doing 10, which is a 5v5, how is
yeah.
6v6 gonna be?
Yeah, I think they're gonna. I mean, knowing AEW, I think they're gonna look at what happened this week, and I think they're gonna try and make some adjustments. I mean, again, I'm pretty sure this is. I mean, honestly, I think Dark Order's gonna get the win here.
Probably, yeah.
I think the Elite FTR. They think something's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, there's totally gonna be a blow up between probably the Young Bucks and Omega.
Kenny. Yeah, I think Kenny and they're gonna go with the Young Bucks, and then FTR with the Hangman. So
Oh
I
yeah,
think
that's what's gonna happen.
it's gonna be. It's gonna be. I don't know. I think this is. I mean, I don't know if it's next week, but I think this is a big turning point in the story. Whatever happens next week.
Yeah. And then and of course next week will also be the debate with Chris Jericho and Orange Cassidy.
Okay. It's going to be a long one. Cassidy has a lot to say, so
there's gonna be some good promos being cut next week.
yeah. Oh man, isn't it funny that they're doing a debate? I mean, they are planning to do it because obviously presidential elections coming up.
Yeah, it's gonna be September.
They're doing a debate, and then MJF's doing another presidential thing next week. So I don't know. They're really trying to get the political. Maybe they're trying to get that 50+. Maybe their 50+ rating up. Maybe I don't know.
They're looking at like All Out's gonna be in September, right in time around the time of the elections. And they just went, all right, let's just start going with that.
Yeah.
So our main event of the entire show is the Tornado Tag No DQ match between Darby Allin and Jon Moxley versus Brian Cage and Ricky Starks.
And obviously, I was really looking forward to this match. That match kind of underwhelmed for me.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
The beginning was really fun. I really like what they did with Ricky Starks and Cage and Taz. I like that how they were behind the entrance, like they were in, like before they go in.
Yeah, and then like at first, like Darby doesn't show up, and they wonder where's Darby, because it's just Moxley at first.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously he's somewhere. We just don't know where, but we'll find out later. But Taz is out there. He's behind
Cutting the
Brian
promo.
Cage, just talking about his biceps, talking about his traps, talking about talking about every muscle in his body. And Ricky Starks is just sitting back there smiling. Ricky Starks kind of ask, and next thing you know, Taz says, "Here, Ricky, talk." And Ricky Starks cut a great promo. This is what he's really known for. I'm happy he was able to talk. He hasn't really been able. We haven't been able to hear him since he cut that promo before the match with Cody. So he cut a really good promo.
He says that the Darby looked like Pigpen and wrestled like a crash test dummy.
Well, I mean, he is a crash. I feel like he is. He should be like a certified crash test dummy. Like, yeah, I mean, he would be that person. And then obviously that follows with what happens when they enter the
Start coming out of the tumble, and then Darby just comes like flying out from the rafters.
Yeah,
like coffin drop.
Yeah, and then Mox is like, "Oh, we're going now. Cool."
And then and then the match just kind of starts taking off from there.
Yeah, I mean, it was a solid match. Nothing too crazy. I mean,
there wasn't really nothing too crazy in this match that you probably haven't seen anywhere else. Like, there's probably even a crazier spot that happened in that last week with Cody against in that TNT title match last week. There's probably a crazier spot in that match than the match that we had this week.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see, like there's some spots that they missed, but that were sadly they're like the picture-in-picture that I think would have been better to see like happen live with like the from the live feed. Because there's this part where like Starks like spears Allen right on the ring apron, and it looked really sick.
Yeah, that was really cool. I saw that. They need to stop with picture-in-picture because I don't know many people that watch it. Like,
Yeah,
honestly, I put my phone away because I'm like, nothing. I put my phone up.
Nothing else. Commercials.
Because I know it's like nothing's gonna happen on commercial. So why am I? Just go to full commercial.
Yeah, because like we missed like that spear that I was talking about. You also missed there's a part where Ricky started like gloating by like doing an air guitar, and then just Moxley just walks over and puts him into a rear naked choke from the ring apron.
Yeah,
like these are like the little things I missed.
Taz was he had a lot of funny lines like, "Ricky, what are you doing?" Like, all this stuff. They were supposed to catch the trash can.
Because you're supposed to be professional, man.
Yeah. This is a really good pairing, though. Obviously, I want Brian Cage on his own, but having Ricky by his side is really cool. But I've talked about this on here. Me and you both know who Brian Cage really is. Like, in the ring. And in my opinion, we still have not seen that Brian Cage yet.
I've seen stuff in Lucha Underground where he's like an absolute beast and just destroys everything by doing ridiculous things.
I don't think we've seen that Brian Cage yet, and it's definitely going to come with Darby. But I was hyped for Brian Cage because I know what he can bring to the table, and he hasn't really done much to me. Like he's done like the typical big guy stuff, but like
because I was just thinking it was like currently in AEW we know he's a big strong dude, but like he also is very athletic and can do like nimble like stuff on his feet.
Pretty sure I don't know if he can do a 450, but he can do some stuff off the top rope.
He can do like moonsaults and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so far we haven't been able to see any of that, which
they're definitely saving. They're saving it for sure. It's just I think it'll come out with Darby. I feel bad for Darby though. I mean, I don't think Cage is gonna lose that match whenever that happens.
Cage is gonna do some brutal stuff like he always does against Darby.
Darby's probably going to be out another month after that. So
He'll do that'll definitely if there hasn't been a time where they showed off Cage's athleticism, that would be the time to do this against Darby.
100%. I don't think a coffin drop's going to work on Brian Cage. I mean, it kind of
No.
did today, but I mean, last at the show, but I
I
don't
mean,
think.
I mean, they showed in one point where I think it wasn't. I'm pretty sure, I'm 100% certain it wasn't supposed to happen, but like Darby like supposed to like dove to the outside, but like
Just
Cage
bounced
didn't
off
get.
of him.
Yeah, like, Cage didn't like really get all of it, but like he just kind of like bounced off of him. I'm pretty sure that wasn't supposed to happen, but it kind of just made like Cage look tougher.
Yeah, yeah. He just bounced off a cage, like literally didn't even move.
It's like I'm pretty sure that wasn't supposed to happen, but it did anyways, and it was perfectly fine with context of the match.
Yeah, I mean it just added to how strong Brian Cage is, but yeah, I mean obviously get to the finish here.
Which is
With the
probably the best part
takedown.
of the whole match,
That was
in my
brutal.
opinion.
I respect Ricky Starks for taking the thumbtack bump.
Yeah, because Darby gets out a skateboard with on the bottom of it was thumbtacks, and then Darby jumps onto Stark's back with the skateboard with the thumbtacks, and to get the win. And like Ricky Starks' leg is like jittering all over the place.
I think that was legit too. I mean, it might have been a little selling, but I mean that must have hurt.
Yeah, that has to have hurt. I mean,
You saw the blood gushing from his back. I
you're
mean,
getting someone's whole body weight pushing down on your back with thumbtacks. That's pretty brutal.
yeah, there's no way. Yeah, and he was bleeding. Like Cody
Yeah, well,
took the
he was
thumbtack.
walking to
Cody took the thumbtack spot. Ricky took the thumbtack spot. Like, dang, man, that was
his back
brutal.
was just like gushing blood.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, then that obviously Darby got the win there.
Mhm.
And then Taz was like, "Why would Darby ever do that? That's the dirty." I
That
mean,
was too
yeah,
far, kind of stuff.
yeah, that's too far. Like, okay, yeah, not like Brian Cage slamming Mox through a car door or a car-to-car back shield window. But obviously that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get the heel heat. Uh, you know, it was fun. It wasn't.
Probably
I
the
think it
other,
was underwhelming to me, but
yeah, probably the only other thing to know in this match was that coffin drop DDT combo that Moxley and Darby did to Cage.
yeah, that was cool.
That was a pretty cool spot that they did.
Yeah, I mean, those are two guys like Mox never has really had many friends like like people that have helped him out except for Darby. Darby's
Mm.
been the one that's always been there. I think they can make a cool little team at some point.
Yeah,
Down the line, obviously. There's a lot of cool things they can do with a lot of these guys, but Darby and Mox just go well together, really well, because they're both kind of, they're
you have
both
the
kind
same
of well
personality
molded.
type basically.
Yeah. And obviously we get to the end there where Darby points to the title.
Yeah, he points at the title, and then they announced that John Moxley was going to defend the title against Darby Allin next week.
Has he faced Darby Allin? Yo, he has, right?
Yeah, he did. I'm
Wait,
pretty sure it was pretty early into Moxley's career in AEW.
wait, did he?
I'm pretty
No,
sure
that
he
was
did.
Cody.
Oh, was it
Because
Cody?
he's faced Cody
Well,
like 3 times.
yeah, he faced Cody like 3 times, but
I don't think he's faced Mox yet. I think he's team. Wait,
I totally feel like Moxley has faced Darby one-on-one at least
hold on,
once.
pull this up. Mox.
Yeah, we have to double check that because I'm pretty certain that they've
Oh, he
faced each
did.
other.
It was episode 8 or episode 8.
Yeah, because it was around the time after he lost that match against Chris Jericho in Philadelphia.
Yep, which I was at, and I think you were at too.
Yeah, I was
But
at that too.
I was watching the highlights from that show last night, and that made me really sad because no fans. But yeah, but that should be a fun match. Obviously, I don't think
Yeah.
think Mox is losing because obviously your big money feud is MJF and Mox. So
Yeah, we've already
MJF
established our
may get
opinions
involved.
on who we think's gonna win.
I mean, don't be surprised if MJF is watching from afar in like a presidential suite or something. I don't know, but
Yeah, and I think Moxley's also gonna cut a promo as well.
yeah, 100%. It'll be fun. This is when the stories are going to start kicking. We got like next week is a month away, probably from All Out, because it's the month the 5th. Yeah. Oh, I mean, probably a month away, somewhere like that,
Mm.
from All Out. Is September 5th a Saturday?
I'm
Is
pretty
it a
sure.
Wednesday? I don't know. I mean, I would imagine.
Yeah, September 5th is a Saturday. Of course, it's a pay-per-view.
Yep. So that's gonna be the next pay-per-view. So everybody save up some money for that.
Definitely.
Hopefully, I mean, it doesn't look really well, but hopefully, maybe can some crowd of some sort. I don't know, but
It's probably gonna still happen at Daly's place.
yeah, 100%. It's gonna be fun. I mean, next week looks good.
Next week looks good.
I don't know. I'm interested to see Zack Ryder. I'm gonna keep calling him Zack Ryder. Matt Cardona just to me is not a wrestling name.
It's just, I don't know. It sounds like just like a regular person's name. Like I could just imagine just an average guy just being called Matt Cardona.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see Cardona. He had some merch drop, obviously. I mean, you're gonna have merch drop when you debut. It looked pretty cool.
They're announcing new merch on the website.
Yep, and then, I mean, I guess you got the women's stuff going on Monday, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're supposed to have the
I'll have
women's
to check
matches
that
on
out.
Monday.
And then being the Elites Monday, a lot of stuff coming up. It's gonna be a fun one again, I think. Hopefully, a lot of stories are gonna be told next week again.
Yeah, the promo game next week should be on point. There's just gonna be some really great promos next week.
The only thing I hope for is that next week that 12-man, whatever that is,
The 12-man tag team match.
yeah, whatever that is, I hope that's not too cluster. I hope it's.
Yeah, we just have to hope that that match is not just so
It's
real
just-
bad.
I wish they would just say, okay, false count anywhere, like I told you, but I don't know. I mean, Young Bucks have really good creativity. So does FTR. A lot of those guys have great creativity. So
Maybe with different players involved, it'll be a better match.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess I don't know. I'm just expecting the same thing right now. I mean, hopefully they surprise me.
Yeah. So that's probably have to do it for this week's episode. Nervously, we will hope for next week's 12-man tag team match to not be an absolute cluster of a match. But my name is Shawn Long.
And I'm Justin Bradley.
Make sure you tune in to next week's episode of the AEW Rewind podcast.